December 1941, the Ukrainian steppe. A lone Soviet soldier versus a German panzer. December 1941. The Ukrainian steppe sprawls beneath a gray, heavy sky. Bitter cold seeps into the earth, hardening it into an unforgiving expanse. The wind bites, carrying the scent of smoke and whispers of distant artillery fire. Snow begins to fall, dusting the landscape with a deceptive tranquility. The clatter of tank treads echoes ominously across the frozen ground. The stakes are human and visceral. For every soldier, the battle means survival or oblivion. Each skirmish could tip the scales, altering the course of entire campaigns. Amidst this chaos, one encounter would defy the odds and echo through history in unexpected ways. It is here that a lone Soviet soldier finds himself in a desperate struggle against a German panzer, a clash that would test the limits of courage and ingenuity. Veteran accounts, unit diaries, and after-action reports paint a vivid picture of this confrontation. While some details remain obscured by the fog of war, three key revelations from these sources promise to reshape our understanding of this pivotal moment. A Molotov cocktail, a frozen landscape, and an indomitable spirit converge in ways that transcend the battlefield. As we delve deeper into this story, examining the fragments left behind by time and conflict, we invite you to join us on this journey. Subscribe if you value careful, human-centered reconstructions of history's hidden chapters. Together, we will uncover the forgotten soldier who dared to stand alone against a mechanical behemoth. German armored columns advance, their metal behemoths carving paths through the snow. The panzers, formidable and seemingly unstoppable, are the spearhead of a push calculated to fracture Soviet defenses. But the terrain here is treacherous. Recent snowfall obscures hidden ditches and ridges, turning the steppe into a deceptive labyrinth. Veteran accounts describe how these geographic challenges begin to funnel the tanks into narrow lanes, inadvertently concentrating their forces in predictable patterns. Records suggest that Soviet commanders, aware of these vulnerabilities, exploit them with strategic placement of anti-tank obstacles. Yet, the odds remain stacked. Communications falter in the icy air, radio signals distorted by atmospheric interference. Orders that should guide the defense are delayed or lost altogether, leaving isolated units to rely on their instincts and experience. Amidst these tactical maneuvers, the morale of the Soviet troops ebbs and flows. Archival footage shows soldiers in heavy coats, their faces etched with the fatigue of constant vigilance. Their resolve is tested as the ground trembles beneath the weight of approaching tanks. In the distance, the distinctive clatter of treads grows louder, a harbinger of the clash to come. Unit diaries reveal mixed emotions: fear, determination, and an undercurrent of defiance. It is in this cauldron of anticipation that one soldier emerges, his actions soon to become the stuff of legend. As the German tanks close in, a critical decision looms, one that will demand both courage and cunning. This solitary stand, against overwhelming odds, challenges our understanding of heroism. What drives an individual to act in the face of near-certain death? As we uncover the layers of this narrative, we invite you to reflect on the human spirit's capacity for resilience. Share your thoughts on what you believe fuels such bravery, or join us for future explorations of history's untold stories. Veteran accounts describe a mounting sense of urgency within the Soviet lines. Reports indicate that the German units, while powerful, faced logistical constraints. Fuel shortages and mechanical issues begin to plague the panzers, slowing their advance and creating opportunities for Soviet defenders. Yet, this respite is tenuous. The relentless German push still threatens to breach their defenses with devastating force. As the hours pass, Soviet commanders seize on these small cracks in the German armor. They order troops to fill the gaps in their lines, deploying reserves with a determined precision. Archival footage captures the hurried movements of soldiers, their breaths visible in the freezing air as they dig in, establishing makeshift fortifications. Communication remains spotty, but the urgency of the situation drives them forward, each man aware that the fate of the front could hinge on their actions. Unit diaries from this period reveal a palpable mix of fear and resolve among the soldiers. The clatter of tanks draws nearer, the sound echoing like a drumbeat of impending conflict. Some argue that desperation fuels their courage, a primal instinct to survive against overwhelming odds. Others suggest that a deep-seated belief in their cause steels them against the encroaching threat. It is within this crucible of tension that one soldier prepares to make his stand. The details of his preparations are shrouded, but after-action reports hint at a resourceful ingenuity. A Molotov cocktail, hastily crafted, becomes his weapon of choice, a symbol of defiance against the seemingly invincible German war machine. As the panzers approach, the soldier's resolve hardens, his actions poised to challenge the very notion of what is possible in war. This unfolding drama raises profound questions about the nature of courage and the choices faced in the heat of battle. As we explore these themes, we invite you to ponder the motivations that drive individuals to extraordinary actions. Share your thoughts or subscribe to join us in unraveling more of history's nuanced narratives. Veteran accounts highlight the soldiers' silent anticipation. The Soviet defenders, scattered like seeds across the snow-covered ground, take advantage of these constraints. They're positioned strategically, exploiting the land's subtle undulations. The German armor, though formidable, finds itself increasingly at the mercy of an unyielding landscape. Reports suggest that communication among the advancing German units falters, their signals tangled in the cold, dense atmosphere. This lack of coordination creates brief windows of vulnerability, moments when individual bravery might tip the scales. Soviet commanders, aware of these disruptions, push their men forward with renewed vigor. Archival footage captures the frantic activity within the Soviet ranks, soldiers moving with a grim determination as the panzer's ominous silhouettes draw nearer. In the midst of this orchestrated chaos, one soldier's resolve crystallizes. His preparation for the encounter is meticulous, driven by necessity. After-action reports indicate that the Molotov cocktail, a simple yet effective incendiary device, becomes the centerpiece of his strategy. The soldier's actions are neither random nor reckless. They are a calculated response to the mechanical threat facing him. Unit diaries hint at the atmosphere of tension, where every breath feels like the calm before a storm. The soldier's decision to wield such a rudimentary weapon against a behemoth of steel speaks volumes about the desperation and courage that characterize this moment. As the tanks approach, the soldier's silhouette, small and solitary, stands against the horizon, poised to enact his daring gambit. This scene raises questions about the nature of warfare and the choices soldiers must make in the face of overwhelming odds. What drives a person to confront a seemingly invincible adversary with nothing but ingenuity and grit? Reflect on this dilemma and consider subscribing to explore deeper into history's complex narratives. Veteran accounts speak of a palpable shift among the Soviet defenders. As the panzers draw closer, their imposing silhouettes are suddenly blurred by a gathering snowstorm. The swirling snow obscures visibility, diminishing the Germans' tactical advantage and leveling the playing field. Soviet troops, hunkered down in shallow trenches, sense that the elements are temporarily on their side. In the midst of this, a critical moment unfolds. The lone soldier, armed with his Molotov cocktail, waits with a nerve-wracking patience. Archival footage and unit diaries describe the atmosphere as electric, charged with the tension of impending action. The panzers, now within striking distance, are momentarily disoriented by the blinding snow. It's an unexpected boon that the soldier seizes upon. Reports suggest that the soldier's approach is one of calculated audacity. He bides his time, waiting for the closest tank to pass a narrow bottleneck in the terrain, an area where its maneuverability is severely restricted. As the tank enters this vulnerable position, the soldier acts swiftly, emerging from cover to launch his incendiary device. The bottle arcs through the air, a fiery defiance against the cold steel of the Panzer. The aftermath is immediate and chaotic. Flames lick the tank's exterior, the sudden blaze contrasting sharply with the white expanse. Some argue that this singular act of courage disrupts the German advance, forcing the tank crew to halt and reassess. The confusion that ensues ripples through the ranks, sowing disorder at a critical juncture. As the sun dips below the horizon, the battlefield is a tableau of flickering firelight and shadow. The soldiers' daring maneuver, though isolated, resonates with the Soviet defenders. It becomes a rallying point, a testament to the power of individual resolve against overwhelming odds. This scene invites us to ponder the unforeseen impacts of personal bravery on the broader theater of war. How does one act of defiance alter the course of battle? Reflect on this question and consider subscribing to join us as we continue to unravel the threads of history's less traveled paths. This weather-induced disorientation compounds existing logistical difficulties. After-action reports highlight how the German supply lines, stretched thin by the rapid advance, struggle to deliver the necessary fuel and ammunition. The tanks, formidable yet fuel-hungry, are forced to operate under increasingly constrained conditions. It's plausible that these factors contribute to a temporary stalling of their momentum, providing the Soviet defenders with a crucial window of opportunity. In the Soviet ranks, morale flickers like the embers of a campfire, stoked by the audacious stand of the lone soldier. Unit diaries reveal a renewed determination among the troops, invigorated by the sight of a single man challenging the might of a Panzer with nothing but his wits and a Molotov cocktail. Archival footage captures soldiers rallying, their movements brisk and purposeful despite the biting cold. The story of the soldiers' defiance spreads quickly, becoming a symbol of hope and resistance. With the German advance momentarily checked, Soviet commanders reevaluate their strategies. They capitalize on the chaos sown by the soldiers' act, repositioning their forces to exploit the vulnerable points in the enemy's formation. Records suggest that these tactical adjustments, though minor, begin to shift the balance of power, sowing confusion within the German lines. Yet, amid these developments, uncertainty hangs over the battlefield. Some argue that this temporary setback could galvanize the Germans into a more aggressive push, while others see it as an opportunity for the Soviets to regain the initiative. The tension is palpable, a reminder of the precariousness of war's ever-shifting tides. As we reflect on this unfolding drama, we're reminded of the profound impact that individual acts of bravery can have on the wider theater of war. What might have seemed an isolated act of defiance reverberates through the ranks, altering the course of battle and inspiring those who witness it. We invite you to share your thoughts on how a single decision can ripple through history, or subscribe for a deeper exploration of these pivotal moments. Today's reconstruction sheds light on the human spirit's capacity for resilience and ingenuity in the face of overwhelming odds. The soldiers' stand against the Panzer, a testament to individual courage, resonates through the fog of war. Yet, much remains shrouded in uncertainty. Speculation surrounds the long-term impact of this solitary act, whether it sparked a broader shift in the battle's dynamics or was merely a brief disruption in the relentless tide of conflict. What is clear, however, is the emotional depth of this story. It reminds us of the profound costs of war, both immediate and lingering. The memory of that lone soldier, standing against an armored giant with nothing but a Molotov, challenges us to contemplate the weight of responsibility borne by individuals in war. It highlights the delicate balance between heroism and sacrifice, echoing through time as a poignant reminder of the human cost of battle. As the snow continues to fall, covering the scars of the day's skirmish, we are left with a sense of responsible uncertainty. The soldier's story, both inspiring and sobering, invites us to consider the enduring impact of personal bravery on the tapestry of history. We invite you to reflect on this moral complexity in the comments below. Share your thoughts on what drives individuals to stand against insurmountable odds, and subscribe to join us in exploring more of history's nuanced narratives.